T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Welcome everyone to the final game week. We're finally there. Jason, it's a huge week, yeah?
Yeah, game week 38 plus.
It's
been a crazy last month, but yeah, we finally made it. We just got to get through this last game week.
I know. And Jason, you're currently sitting in the top 50K, 40K?
Yeah, like 43K, I think. I was 34, then I fell a little bit this last week.
Yeah.
So I got an outside shot at, the top 20K. If I'm lucky, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm still, I'm kind of shooting for the inner 300K. I had a green arrow sitting around 350K. So overall, this show's going to be a little bit different. We'll talk, obviously we only have one game week left. So we're mainly going to be talking about our free hit strategies because we're both free hitting.
Yep.
And then we're also going to be talking a little bit about players to pick in this game week, obviously. And then we'll talk briefly about how we did. And then our final recommendations for this game week.
Yep.
Right, Jason? Yep. If
We're
you
ready
guys,
to go.
Yeah, if you guys like the content, please feel free to subscribe, comment, and give us a like on YouTube too. We're a growing channel. We appreciate all the comments and all the support and all the views. It's our first season on YouTube, but we've been doing this for over 15 years now. Plenty of top 500, 250, 100K finishes. Right, Jason?
Exactly. Yeah, I've been playing a long time, but now we're finally sharing the knowledge with everyone else.
Right.
So take advantage of our experience.
So we hope that throughout this half season that we've been doing this, you guys have been getting green arrows along with us, and we're going to continue that throughout the preseason as well. We'll continue our weekly content. All right, so let's just go on to the games. Yeah, Jason, the recap.
Let's do it.
Tell me a little bit what you saw.
All right, first game of the week. Burnley dismantled Norwich, who had 2 red cards, which was not ideal for them. Burnley's defense looked very strong, and that's the key takeaway I had from that game.
Yeah, exactly. Clean sheets.
Yep, that's all it is. Clean sheets. Okay, moving on. Southampton won. Danny Ings had a goal, but he also missed the penalty kick, unfortunately, which, could have had a huge haul, but he just missed out on that. But you can definitely tell with him taking that over James Ward-Prowse, that golden boot's on his and the coach's mind.
Yeah, this was super bad for me because I recommended Ings and I captained him too. So this was such a big loss.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been huge.
I know. And then speaking of big, Harry Kane had some world-class goals, yeah?
Yeah, Kane looked great. 2 great goals against Spurs. Would have had an assist, except Son's shot ended up being an own goal. So I kind of robbed Son of a goal and Kane of an assist.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Leicester's makeshift defense was not good. So going into the last week, it could be a possible shootout even in a game that I would expect to be more cagey naturally.
Yeah, for sure. And then Brighton and Newcastle, anything special?
0-0.
It basically looked like they had nothing to play for, right?
And that's exactly it. Neither team has anything to play for, and it showed.
All right, and then Everton, anything special you saw in this one?
Good header from Richarlison, and then they kept a clean sheet to beat Sheffield 1-0. I thought Sheffield's defense was looking back to their best, and then they kind of tailed off a little bit these last couple of weeks. So I'm not as high as them going into the final game week.
Interesting. Yeah, currently I don't have a single Everton player on my free hit team.
Yeah, same here. We'll get into that in a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure. Wolves, clean sheet.
Yeah, beat
Yeah.
Palace, 2-0, got a clean sheet. Unfortunately for us, Romain Saiss got a rest.
Yeah.
Um,
Doherty did well though. Yeah.
yeah, got the
And
clean sheet, got an
yeah,
assist.
exactly. And then another big time explosive game. Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, Man City, man.
Man,
They were in full swing there.
it hurt our rankings. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
have
yeah, Man City
Sterling.
looked great. Watford, even with a lot to play for, they sacked their manager with 2 games left. I don't know what exactly happened there, but must have been terrible to sack them with 2 games left, and they're fighting for survival.
Yeah. Interesting stuff with Watford. They still have Arsenal to play next, so that's going to be an interesting game.
Yep.
Uh,
Speaking of Arsenal, they have nothing to play for at this point, and Villa shockingly beat them in their bid for survival, which put even more pressure on Watford at that point.
yeah, I guess the only thing they're really playing for is they're still in the FA Cup final, and then Aubameyang, maybe he's a shout for the Golden Boot, but we'll see
Yeah, that's
what.
about it.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to. They'll probably want to rest. I'm not sure, so it's kind of on the fence there with Arsenal.
Yep.
Man United, kind of struggled through it.
Yeah, they tied 1-1, which is good enough for what they need. But they look tired, like they need a break.
For sure.
Yeah, that alone is kind of having me hesitate with United in my free hit squad because they were so leggy in like the last couple games, really.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
Bruno looked super tired. I saw him hit
oh yeah.
some balls over. I definitely dropped United attack.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit, Liverpool, Chelsea. This was a nice game to watch.
Yeah, that was a shootout right there. Wow, it was crazy. Yeah, Chelsea, they did not start Pulisic. I guess he might have been dealing with an injury the last week or so. But when he came on, he completely changed the game for them and looked like Chelsea's best player.
Yeah, everyone in America was talking about Pulisic's great performance, and then now Klopp had that smirk on his face. It was good stuff all around.
Yeah, good to see Alexander Arnold finally bank some points for me.
Oh, he was class. That free kick.
Yeah,
The other
and that
thing.
cross to Firmino as well.
Oh yeah, the header was pretty good too. Firmino
Yep.
finally scored at home. Overall, it was a good showing by Liverpool. And then, like we kind of said earlier, Chelsea offense we're big on, and we had Pulisic, and he turned up the goods.
Yep.
All right, so let's kind of just go real quick on my team. Again, I did well with Pulisic, 9 points. Greenwood was huge for me. Trent was huge. Danny Ings could have had a huge night for me, but that missed PK really changed things there.
Yeah, that hurts.
Salah, it's not been great for Salah owners. Yeah, Jason. I mean, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You've been negative on Salah since game week 30. Yeah.
Yeah, I've rode my luck a little bit with Salah, but it's actually paid off other than like one huge explosion.
Yeah, it paid off for you, so cheers on that. I kind
Yep.
of picked him up after he had that explosion. Well, he had like a brace or something, right? Or a goal and assist.
Yeah, it's either 2 goals and an assist or like 1 goal and an assist or
Yeah,
something like that.
and that's
But
when
yeah,
I picked him up, and he hasn't been all that great since. I mean, he had an assist, nothing special.
Yeah.
Basically, we kind of said earlier, this show's going to be a huge focus on free hit, and I did play my free hit. Salah is still on my team now. KDB has been dropped though.
Okay.
Jason, let's just move on to your team. Yeah,
All right, let's see it.
let's see your team.
All right.
43K.
Yeah, I went double up on Burnley here for the defense. That paid off pretty well.
Big time.
TAA finally came through for me. I captained Martial this week, actually. That's kind of my sneaky play. He got me an assist. So wasn't complete waste.
Yeah, not terrible, but not what you were expecting.
No, but compared to the other options I was considering, I'm pretty glad I actually did it.
Yeah, Fernando compared to Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno or Jesus or Ings.
Oh, jeez. Ings.
Yeah. So yeah, I dropped a little bit in the rankings here, but nothing too drastic.
And have you mixed up your team a good amount with the free hit?
Oh yeah, it's a completely different team with the free hit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's just talk real quick about the schedule. Jason, what kind of big matches are you looking forward to fantasy-wise when you look at this schedule?
Some of the big ones I'm looking at: Spurs versus Crystal Palace. I think Spurs are going to dominate that.
Definitely, and they still have something to play for with the Europa League.
Exactly. City versus Norwich. I think City's going to slaughter them. So
I think everyone knows that one.
that's just a matter of picking the right players at that point.
I know. So this is going to be a key one, you guys, to pay attention to the news prior to the game week. And this is, if you got that free hit, you really need to pay attention all the way up to the game week deadline this week. This week's a real important one.
Yep. Yeah. Other than that, Liverpool Newcastle could be interesting too.
I think that's a huge one, depending on who plays. I still have Salah, and it's because Newcastle's been like the worst defense, since restart. So let's see what happens there. And then I don't know, anything else? Anyone any other games? Not too much. Chelsea Wolves. What do you think?
I don't want to get too invested in that one because Wolves have such a great defense, and Chelsea has such a great offense.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of worried that if I chose the Wolves defense, they're gonna get scored on by like Pulisic and the gang. But if I go with Chelsea assets, if Wolves are gonna shut them out, so it's really tough.
I think Chelsea's gonna score. I don't know if they'll win, but I know they'll definitely score. So I would get rid of.
Probably the best option in that match is going to be Jimenez because Chelsea's defense has been garbage.
Wow.
Chelsea's defense is garbage right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it last game. So that's the safest option to me in that game.
What about Pulisic?
He's going up against Wolves' defense. That's going to be tough. They've had, I think, the most shutouts since the restart, and I don't know if it's the least goals amount or goals allowed, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, and the other game I'm kind of like Arsenal-Watford has totally changed now that Watford's still fighting. Originally, I thought they were just going to be relegated, but they're still fighting. So, and Arsenal has nothing to play for other than Aubameyang is the Golden Boot. But they're in the FA Cup final. So this really changes a lot of things when it comes to that whole Aubameyang versus Kane argument. Yeah, Jason?
Yeah, so I like both players this week, but to your point, Watford have a lot more to play for than Crystal Palace, and Arsenal have a lot less to play for than Spurs.
Yeah, and then just looking at the Golden Boot race there, who do you think's going to be Golden Boot?
Well, I'm not saying he's going to score this week necessarily, but I'm still expecting Vardy to hold on to it.
Yeah, probably.
Ings, even though Sheffield's been a little worse recently, him getting like a hat trick against them seems unlikely still. Anyone else needs at least a hat trick to tie Vardy from there on out, so that'll be tough to accomplish that.
It would be like a fantasy like dream for like seeing an explosion like Aubameyang, but highly unlikely. I mean, even Ings maybe he might explode too.
Yeah. They're all going to be trying, that's for sure.
Ings is going to try, but Sheffield defense is really good too.
Yeah, it's also interesting that Vardy is the only player on here who actually has something to play for. Everyone else is just golden boot chasing.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's so true. All right, let's kind of move on. Speaking of just like the Kane versus Aubameyang, Jason, tell me what you're thinking about with these two matchups, Kane versus Aubameyang, and Sterling and Salah.
Yeah, we got a battleground here for some premium assets for your free hit teams. So let's take a look at who's going to be better. So the first big one we mentioned is Kane versus Aubameyang, both 10.9 right now. So looking under the hood, when you look at expected goals, Kane has, this is the last 6 weeks we're looking at. Kane has 3.44 versus Aubameyang's 1.65. Clearly the winner there. If you look at minutes per expected goal, Kane is almost half the amount of Aubameyang, which is crazy. And he also has twice as many big chances. So that, given the actual real-life motivations for the teams, I think Kane is the clear winner there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here. Kane over Aubameyang, just kind of based on the stats, if you're a stats guy, and then also just on the real-life Arsenal in the FA Cup final, nothing to play for. Now, how about tell me about Sterling and Salah?
Yeah, this one's a little closer. So for this one, we're going to look at expected goal involvement to kind of get assists baked in there as well. But Sterling's at 4.12 versus Salah's 5.19. But how is that actually translated to reality? Well, Sterling has 7 goals and Salah only has 2. Big chances, Salah does have 1 more. So basically, Salah's getting a ton of chances, but Sterling is one who's putting them away right now.
Salah has, when you look at the stats, Salah's been getting plenty of plenty of chances, plenty of game time and everything for him to go score. It just hasn't, he just has not done it. All right. And this was for the last 6 game weeks. Yeah, Jason, you got it from.
Yeah, last 6 game weeks.
So overall, we're kind of big on Kane, and then a little bit mixed. I'm going to lean Sterling.
Yeah, I think Sterling has a better chance of getting benched this week, unfortunately, just because of the Pep Roulette.
Yeah.
But Salah has a chance to get benched too, though, because they have nothing left to play for.
Yeah, they both kind of have a chance of getting benched. That's the only issue with them, but because they're so explosive, it's hard to keep them out of your team at the same time.
Right.
Okay. So
if you want to get all 4, why not do that?
What's up?
So if you want to get all 4, just why not do that? Like your team.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what I've done. I got Kane, I got Aubameyang, I've got Sterling, and I got Salah right now. I dropped KDB. I kind of made that KDB Sterling switch. I dropped Danny Ings, kind of upgraded to Harry Kane.
Okay.
I've got the Burnley defense. That's going to be a huge plus for this week. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think overall this blueprint, Jason?
All right. So looking at this, your starting line, we're gonna have Pope and Nets. Nice.
For sure.
Alexander-Arnold, Aurier, and Peters. Are you gonna do a 3-man defense there? I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're going 3-5-3-4-3 right now.
3-4-3. Yep.
But so, yeah, the one thing I'm considering is dropping Aubameyang for Wood, and then getting KDB back for either Antonio or Salah. I haven't really decided yet. So that's the one thing I'm thinking about is getting KDB back. But for now, this is my team.
Okay, yeah, I think David Silva is almost guaranteed to start for City with it being his last home match. I just have a feeling if a free kick comes up or maybe even a PK, there's a good chance he might get put on it.
Free kick for sure, and he's been scoring them.
Yeah, so I think he's the safest City option in the whole Pep Roulette. Sterling is the most explosive option at City. It's probably good to have him. Same with Salah at Liverpool. Yeah, Antonio's been so great recently that it's hard to leave him out.
Mm-hmm.
In the forward line, yeah, that's really nice with Kane, Greenwood, Aubameyang. Who are you going to captain out of all these guys?
This is going to be a deadline day type of thing. If I know Salah is starting, I might just ride my luck with him because I think more people will be captaining Sterling. Um, Kane is an option too. So I'm thinking Salah, then Kane, then Sterling. But your average and your recommended captain, for my opinion, is still going to be Raheem Sterling. I'm just playing it a little bit differently because I want a little bit more of a differential.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Let's move on to your team, Jason.
Let's do it.
What's
All right. So here's what I have so far. Obviously, I'm not done yet. I'm still tinkering around. But I'm starting off. I'm going to have Martinez in net for Arsenal. He's only 4.4. Instead, for my Burnley investment, I'm getting it at two of their defenders for the budget prices of 4.3. My other starting defender is going to be Aurier against Crystal Palace, and then I have two enablers there. Midfield, and my formation will be 3-4-3 if you couldn't figure that out. Midfield, right now I have 3 City and Salah. I'm going to go De Bruyne, David Silva, and Raheem Sterling. I feel like one of those guys is going to get benched. Most likely either Sterling or De Bruyne, but it's hard to say.
I could see De Bruyne or Sterling only play 45 minutes.
Yeah. See, I will say one thing. De Bruyne is only 1 assist behind the all-time record for the Premier League season. And Sterling still has an outside shout at the Golden Boot. So if they start and are, close to these records, I could see them getting a little more time. Just, man management from Pep at that point. But it's still a gamble.
I wouldn't be surprised if De Bruyne doesn't even play. Just because we know how important he is in the Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League is huge, obviously. But at least they have some time in between now and when it starts.
Right.
So at least from like a rest perspective, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. But like you said, it's more like does he want to just preserve them completely, not even risk any kind of injury? So that's the tough call.
And then your forwards look solid too. Kane, Ings, Greenwood.
Yeah, so right now I have Kane, Ings, and Greenwood. I think no matter what, I'm going to keep Kane and Ings. The idea I'm toying around with right now is do I downgrade like a Sterling or a Salah to like a Martial or a Bruno and then upgrade Greenwood to Aubameyang? And then I still have a few points in the bank right now, so I could theoretically upgrade one of my Burnley defenders to like a Robertson or a Luca Digne, maybe even TAA if I end up having the points for that.
But then Robertson and TAA are rotational risks too.
Yeah, that's
Burnley's the safest thing.
Yeah, also with Burnley, just keep an eye on Charlie Taylor to see if he makes it back in time. He's expected to miss right now. But if he does, he could throw some of these budget options possibly off, being like Eric Peters, I think probably the biggest one.
Oh, okay.
Just keep an eye on the squad list before the game.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and I'm also going to say, obviously we're going to look for team leaks before the game week starts to see if we have any last-minute changes to make. But don't wait too long because the game will lock up eventually for updates.
Yeah, that's true. And like the site's going to be like crashed. So
don't bank on that. Trust me, I've done it before and I've always regretted it and saying I'll never do that again.
I wouldn't wait until like the final hour. That could be too much chaos. But maybe like the hour before you might be safe.
Yeah, definitely get your team locked in before then, but just, look out for leaks to make any changes if you can, but just don't bank on it.
Tell me what you think about the Manchester City choices. I see you've got De Bruyne, Silva, Sterling. What do you think about owning someone like a Jesus or a Mahrez or a Foden?
I mean, I like all those players in fantasy. I think Jesus has started pretty much every game recently, and he played the full game, or at least close to the full game last time out. So I feel like he's a big rotation risk right now. Foden also started the last game. And with David Silva basically guaranteed to start, and I'm assuming De Bruyne will get the other start, I think he could miss out in this one. Mahrez, I think he'll play, but I don't. His points potential for me is just a bit behind the other three guys I have in the squad.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. Like I think the main City assets are gonna be these three that you've got: the Silva, Sterling, De Bruyne. But I wouldn't. I'd say Jesus. If he does play, like he is like that 9 position, I wouldn't be surprised if Pep played him to try to get him a little bit more confidence going into the Champions League. Try to get some goals for him. But
Yeah,
we'll
say,
see.
while Jesus has been good in fantasy recently, since the restart, he's been pretty bad in actual real life. So that's another reason I'm thinking he might get benched. Is like he's really not earning his place right now in that squad.
He had a real good game against Real Madrid, though, first leg.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Won't deny that.
All right. So let's just move on to kind of our top recommended assets in no order, right, Jason?
No order. No, I couldn't decide that. It's too hard.
Yeah. So Sterling is. What do you think? I think he's going to be the most explosive pick and probably the most captain this week.
Yeah, if you could guarantee me he's starting, he would be my captain and my number one. But it's just that doubt in my mind with the whole Pep roulette that just makes me want to captain Kane instead, just to be safe.
Yeah, captain who? Kane?
Yeah, for me, Kane is the safer pick for captain.
Was that who you're going to captain this week?
Right now, I'm thinking about that. Yeah, if I can get the team news before the game locks up, and I see Sterling in that starting lineup, I'll move it to him. But until I get that, I just can't bring myself to captain him with the possibility of him getting benched, or coming on for 10 minutes at the end.
Okay. Yeah, Harry Kane, he exploded last week. He kind of created that second goal. He just created out of nothing just by on his own. He's really doing well. The Spurs are fighting for something, which I can't really say about anyone else in our recommendations. So he is a huge recommendation. If you have a free hit, you should have Harry Kane on your team.
Yeah, I think you have to at this point.
Silva, KDB, you chose both, right, Jason? Both are on your team?
Yeah, I went with both. I think David Silva is the safer choice as far as Pep Roulette. So if you're more risk averse, he'd be the option. But KDB, going for that assist record and just his general play this year, it's hard to leave him out of any top 5 list.
Yeah. And then it's kind of hard when you look at the underlying stats for Salah. It's hard to leave him out of this recommended assets, even though he hasn't been doing well these last 3-4 games. The underlying stats show what he can do, and we know his explosiveness. He's just missed a lot of crazy chances, one-on-ones, and some sitters recently.
Yeah, I think with him going up against Newcastle, who are, already on vacation, essentially, if he does play in Liverpool care at all, I think he could be very explosive this week. And I'm just kind of worried that, they lifted the trophy. Everything's done at this point, really.
Yeah. So
they could just pack it up and call it a day.
This guy could be a rotation risk, too. He's only 4 away from Golden Boot, but it's only 1 game. So we'll see how much playtime he really gets. This is another player I would keep an eye on for that starting lineup. Try to get some leaks in Liverpool leaks.
Yep.
And probably one of the most stable recommended assets is going to be your Burnley defense this week. You'd agree?
Yep. Yeah, I'm not even going to single out too many players just because they're always going for the clean sheets, and that's what you have them for. So, Nick Pope is your goalie. He's going for the Golden Glove, so they really want to get that for him. And then they have a lot of budget options up and down that defense. So if you want to double or triple up even, I wouldn't blame you at this point.
Anyone you want to shout out in addition to these recommendations, kind of as differentials? One I would put, what I would say is maybe Sadio Mane. He isn't he owned by a lot of people compared to like Salah, who's around like 40% ownership. So this could be a big differential. Mane, if he starts, he can be just as likely to score as Salah. That'd be one I'd think
Yeah.
about.
He's not getting the same number of chances as Salah, but he is finishing at a higher rate. So I
Any
could
other,
easily see him outscoring Salah.
any other differentials you'd shout out, Jason?
I mean, I'm still on the fence with Aubameyang. He is going for the Golden Boot against, a woeful Watford team. But with Arsenal, not having anything left to play for in the league, I'm still kind of hesitant to really splash the kind of cash on him. So I would have to get rid of a guy like Sterling or Salah to afford that.
Yeah.
But
Originally, originally Aubameyang was on this recommended list, but then he kind of slipped when we found out that what Watford is playing for and what Arsenal is.
yeah.
What about Danny Ings?
Yep, Danny Ings. I'm not going to say he's like my top recommended asset, but he's definitely up there. I want him on my team.
For sure.
Sheffield, their defense hasn't been as good recently, but it's still good enough that I'm not expecting a huge explosion from him. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
All right, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this game week. Best of luck to everyone. Keep an eye on the news. It's going to be an interesting few hours or morning, at least for Americans morning. Right, Jason?
Yep. 11 a.m. for us is when the game starts.
Yeah. East Coast time.
Yep.
Even though the season is over, that doesn't mean our channel will stop. We'll probably be going on to a little bit of some Champions League news and English Premier League preseason news as well. We expect us to continue our weekly content.
Yeah, the new season isn't too far away even right now. And with Champions League throughout August, there's going to be plenty to talk about, I think.
All kinds of things with transfers, how players are going to affect teams, new signings. Plenty to look forward to.
Yep.
All right, so we'll be back next week, kind of discuss how we did on fantasy, rumors, and then maybe some Champions League too, which I'm looking forward to a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Give me an early pick for Champions League, Jason.
That's difficult.
I know, just throw one out.
I mean,
give me a dark horse too, then. Give me one or the other.
I would want to say Real Madrid, but obviously they're down to City right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough to say them when they're losing already.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich looks pretty strong right now. They were good before the break, and then they came back and kind of stormed the Bundesliga and looked unstoppable for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be a pretty good pick.
I think my pick is gonna be whoever comes out between PSG and Atalanta. So Atalanta's gonna be my dark horse.
You're gonna go for the all-out attacking teams.
Yeah, and Mbappe.
So good. Is this year PSG finally makes it to the top 4 or not?
Top 4. If I have them winning it, yeah, obviously.
Okay, it seemed like you were looking at Atalanta a little more though.
Either one. I'm rooting for Atalanta, but
it'd be kind of fun to see. I'll admit that.
Yeah. All right, take care, guys. That's it for now.
All right.
See you. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. Yep.